The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
5:31, Mark and Paul checking in, 22nd of April, 30 degrees out there. A very nice week of weather in front of us. Wednesday's a golf day, 77 on Wednesday.
Well, I thought Wednesday was Wilson Wednesday.
Golf takes priority.
It does?
It does.
Oh, okay. Well,
Thursday, 69, then a little cooler Friday and Saturday.
yesterday morning when I woke up, it was 19 degrees.
Wow.
19. And by the time 10 o'clock rolled around, it was probably 45 already. So it warmed up fast.
Took a picture for you.
Oh, I don't need to see that.
You know where the new big prairie dog town is?
Right on the corner of the highway there? Or?
Right behind Pizza Ranch.
Oh, is it?
Paul, they're popping out of the ground.
Oh, they're everywhere.
God, they are.
Go drive out of the parking lot there at Walmart in the Heights. They're all over there on the corner of the intersections. Up by Brad, up there at G&J Diesel. There's some down in that little lot there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're all over the place, all over. And so we've reintroduced a bunch of them to some new place out by Inglemar or something.
Right.
If we're going to preserve those areas, we should preserve them the way they are and not introduce rodents to it.
I agree.
They're devastating the state. Devastating. Heck, they're out there. I've seen prairie dogs out there by Taco John's on 20th Street West.
Right.
How the hell did they get there? I think FWP, in case you folks don't know what that stands for, you can ask me sometime. I think they drive around with stock trailers and just turn them loose.
Middle of the night, drop them off.
Yeah. You notice, though, none of our city parks have them. The place where you would think they would be.
Well, good point.
Did you ever see a prairie dog at North Park?
No.
No. They take care of them there.
I saw some people that live there.
Yeah.
But no prairie dogs.
Yeah, they're a problem. No doubt about it. Problem.
Daughter was working on Saturday. I told Paul I went and got her car and took and washed it. I went to Don's in the Heights. And Paul, you pull in there, there's 4 guys with power washers and scrubbing bubbles and making sure they get all the big stuff. They did a great job.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Paul and I are going to change car washes here. The Mint is not getting it done.
After that, what happens when you go through? Is it brushless or?
It's brushless, and ideally, you should have a towel with you so you could, do the windows and stuff. But it does a pretty good job. Gets it pretty dry, pretty spot free.
Well, I did a little groundwork over the weekend. I'm gonna pick up some seed today. Try to get that in this week.
Just smiled and waved, didn't there, on that sack of seeds?
That's what I did. And I've been reading manuals on my sprayer. I got this sprayer I bought, and it's like the space shuttle. I can't. There's more stuff inside that thing.
Can't imagine.
I wish I knew somebody that was well versed in like the Raven controller and the Outback GPS system and stuff to show me, because the manuals on those things, it looks like War and Peace.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And
and once you figure it out, it'll be nice.
Yeah, 10 years from now. But I don't know how to operate those systems. I got a different GPS system in my tractor, and it's taken me to figure that out. It took me a while, and everybody's system is different. That's a problem with technology, folks. Everybody's technology is different from the other guys.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so difficult. Even on phones, for instance. Apple phones are different than the
Samsungs.
the Samsung phones.
I had a guy explain it to me one time, and this was a guy, computer companies and phone companies sent him their prototypes for him to go through and figure out what was good and what was bad. I said, what's the difference between a Samsung and an iPhone? He said, an iPhone is for people like you. He said a Samsung is for people that do business on their phones. I said, well, that's pretty easy then. iPhone for me.
But folks, keyboards and typewriters are all the same, right?
Yes.
They were all the same. So you could go into somebody else's office and see the keyboard there.
Right.
And the keyboard was same as the other keyboards. Not with technology.
No.
Different symbols. Different symbols for on, off. Different symbols for less or more. Different. Everybody's got their own thing. Mm-hmm. And you start putting all that in this tiny little brain.
Yeah. Well, it's just a different era that we grew up in. Our digital guy here, Josh, he comes in and he can type 100 words a minute, and you just do this, and you just do this, and you just do that. Well, I don't just do that.
Yeah. It's like automobiles. Folks, in the 60s and 70s, automobiles were all the same.
Yeah.
The engines were different sized, but they were all the same.
Essentially, yes.
They were all the same. They had starters on them, water pumps, a carburetor, a radiator, some belts for the alternator and fan and air conditioner, and then the block. Then they came out with electronic ignition. And that was big because it eliminated you having to put points in.
Right.
Bob Seger. You. So anyway, but then they changed.
Right.
And now every single one is totally different. The controls on the inside, the buttons on the inside, different emblems that company wants to use for headlights, or, I mean, they're all different.
Right.
And then you get into the heavy duty stuff, these things we deal with, they're all different. And I'm lost on a distant shore. And I'm going to have to find somebody who can help me set it up. You know, on some things, when you push enter, you know what that means. But on others, when you push enter, that's not what enter means. And some things have C on it, and something. Well, what the hell's that? Well, you know what that is. No, I don't. It's a different thing, means a different function for different things. That's what I'm dealing. But it's crazy. And you wait till you start getting those robots in your houses.
Oh, I already got one.
Icarumba. Yeah. TV sets, all different.
Mm-hmm.
The remotes are different. You look at one of them remotes and you go, who in the hell knows what every single one of these buttons do? A little half circle with an arrow on it. And
I got my cable remote. I couldn't tell you what 2/3 of those buttons are.
I know it. It's crazy. If I knew, all I got to do is know what the water pressure is and my speed, and I can handle everything else because I can fill it. But no, you can't just get that, Wilson.
Everything else is irrelevant.
All tied together. It's one of those things when if you pull a hair out of your ear, your right foot goes up in the air for some reason and you don't know why. So yeah, it's crazy stuff now. Crazy stuff. It's Earth Day today. Everybody gets a day. The day is Earth Day. That's why things aren't as green out there, folks. We've been getting these cold mornings and, trees and foliage and grass and things, they're not stupid. It knows. One of the big things on Earth Day today is plastics. The global theme for Earth Day today is planet versus plastic. Plastic production continues to ramp up. Less than 10% is recycled. Most is buried, burned, or dumped. Recycling rates for glass, aluminum, and cardboard far higher. Well, for one, they pay more.
Right.
I don't know what they're going to do because plastics are made from fossil fuels. And the Democrats want to eliminate all fossil fuels. So I don't know what they're going to do. The Walmart bag, folks, is now the new state bird in Montana. You drive along the highways that I do, you will see them everywhere. Plastic bags. Everybody uses the plastic bags. Walmart, Albertsons, they all use them.
Right.
That's the new state bird now. I see they picked up some garbage on Highway 87 yesterday, but they didn't go far enough north because the worst part of Highway 87 is between Mailbox Road and the Divide. It's awful. Somebody abandoned a motorhome up there the other day.
A motorhome?
Motorhome right on the speedway. And then they drove it, Mark, and they drove it down or pulled it down Mailbox Road. Couldn't keep it on the road. It crashed down the ravine right into my fence.
And just left it there.
Left it and left.
Oh, my God.
Highway Patrol pulled it, got rid of it, hauled it out of there. They said that thing isn't worth a dime. No recycling company would even care. They'd probably take it to the dump. They were living in it. Garbage everywhere. Garbage, folks. Sometimes plastic is unavoidable. I mean, milk, it's either got to be in glass or plastic. Crackers and things, they can come in boxes. So that's good. Bag.
Hey, I miss the good old days with soda pop in a bottle. Nice and cold, but I get it.
Yeah.
It's easier in plastic. It makes more sense.
Well, they were too worried about people cutting their feet and suing. Now we're going back to it.
Well, all these people that are promoting Earth Day, are you not going to buy a pop today in a plastic bottle?
Aluminum. But aluminum, that leaves a footprint. You need fossil fuels to make aluminum. You don't know how serious this is, folks. This war on fossil fuels. It's going to be ugly. We're not there yet. We're not ready to transition yet. We'll get there someday. Someday they'll have hydrogen-powered vehicles that just run on water. But we're not there yet. And they'll highlight all kind of things today, global warming and all that kind of stuff. Got this article today. Europe is the fastest warming continent, nearly twice the average rate as the rest of the world. How can that be when Europe has embraced environmentalism and the anti-fossil fuel approach faster than any other continent in America, and they're the ones where the temperature is going up? Europe. What year? Does anybody know what year global warming started? I don't either. What year was it when we started? Al Gore probably knows, but what year was it? Was it 1789 when Montana became a state? Was it 1822? Was it 1907? Was it 1960? What year did it start? And what temperature do we have to be at to be back to normal? How many hurricanes? How many tornadoes? How many fires? How many floods? How deep can they get? How many volcanoes and earthquakes? How many days above average can we be? How many days below? What is the parameter? What do we have to hit to be back to normal? I don't know what year it was, because if it started in that year, then we know whatever we did the year before, it was fine. They ought to be able to tell. They ought to be able to tell, right? By precip levels, temperature, things like that, because that's what they're basing a lot of it on. And those records, folks, I did some research on it. Those records on temperature, rainfall, snow depth, they started back in the 14th century. Okay. So they could go back that far if they want to see what the temperatures were in the U.S. in 1567. If they wanted to, they could see what they were. But when did it start? And now we know now, according to the movement, that we can control the weather.
Yeah, in theory.
That's what this is. We can control the weather. All we have to do is this and this and this, and we can get the Earth back to normal that they haven't told us what normal is. What temperature would you like? We're now 1.3 degrees higher than we were on average 100 years ago. So where do we have to take it? Do we have to? What if we take the temperature 1 degree below the average? Then do we do the opposite to get it back to that average again? What do we do? Because they all believe that we can control this weather. They can control the strength of our fires that we get in the summer. We can control how far the Mississippi Delta floods, the glaciers melting. Well, they're melting at a much rapid rate now than they did 20 years ago. So what? They've been here 6 times, have come and gone. Right. That's how the Great Lakes formed. We were all underwater here. This was a sea 10,000 years ago. We were a sea from Montana all the way through the breadbasket of America. Kansas, you name it, Nebraska. It was a sea from the top of the border to the south, right in the middle of the country. We were all underwater 10,000 years ago. That's not many. Was that normal? Was that normal? What the hell was the normal frame for weather on the planet? Give me the normal so I know what our goal is. Our goal is to get people wealthy and control you.
That's exactly right.
In everything you do. Should we take care of our planet? Hell yes. You don't abuse it. You do things right. But to think that we have the power to control the floods and the water and the sun and the tornadoes and the hurricanes by whether we use a plastic straw or paper straw, or whether or not we heat with natural gas or electricity, it's crazy. It's crazy. I want to know what our goal is. What is the end goal? We're putting trillions of dollars into this. So what is our end goal? How deep is the ocean supposed to be? Is it allowed to rise?
And what temperature should it be?
What temperature should it be? How many acres are the forest allowed to burn? Because we have 4.6 billion years of history. We ought to know. We weren't able to stop the continents from splitting. We used to be hooked on Africa. We split.
And then we caught a wave in Africa, Paul.
Yes, we did. We caught a wave down in Africa. But, that sun a few weeks ago lined up with the moon and lined up with the earth, and we didn't have anything to do with that. Not one thing. Temperature dropped 20 degrees in the places that had a 100% solar eclipse. 20 degrees. Just on that one little event, folks, the temperature dropped 20 degrees. We didn't control that, did we? No, we didn't. But they got weather records dating way back. They can see temperature averages, precip averages, stuff like that. They know. Give me the goal. Give me the goal. Give me the number. Give me the target. That's what we want to know. No, we're We're just going to keep taking billions of dollars of your taxes and redistribute that wealth. Do I believe the climate and weather is changing? Absolutely. Does all the time. Back in the 70s, we had late 70s, had a lot of snow, cold weather, and then bam, all of a sudden in the 80s, I remember in the 80s, mid 80s, we had some real mild winters. I mean, 50 degrees all winter long in the 80s. I remember it. And then bam, what happened? Early 90s through the mid 90s, we set all-time records for snow. Yeah, we did. Check them out. Between 90 and 96. Check the record out for snow. We had big winters, tons of snow. It changed again, just that quickly.
That's how you get your averages.
Yeah. I think Earth Day should be more about pollution than it should be trying to control the planets, the universe.
Which we can't do.
No. Earth Day should be about taking care of what we've been given. Clean up the freaking garbage on the road, you losers.
Mother's Day is coming up, so treat her to a delicious meal at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. They also have a special pop-up market on Saturday, May 4th from 11 to 5 with perfect gifts for mom. Test your Taylor Swift knowledge at Trivia Night on Thursday, May 9th. It's 80s and 90s sitcom trivia. Monday, May 13th. And don't forget their amazing mouth-watering steaks. Now serving prime rib every Saturday. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley, just 9 minutes east of the Metra exit.
Don't throw your garbage in the rivers. Don't throw your garbage in the big ditch. There's water in the big ditch now. You should see the crap floating down that thing. Water in the big ditch. Keep the rivers clean. Put scrubbers on our factories and things that we know how to do it now and recycle. Look what we've done for vehicles. We recycle the exhaust in your vehicles to where it turns into water vapor. We know how to do all this kind of stuff. Those are things that you do on Earth Day. You don't try to play God, though, and control the amount of rain we get, how much snow we get, the temperature every day, how many hurricanes we're supposed to get, where it floods, where it doesn't. How in the hell you think those Everglades and swamps all got there down in New Orleans and Florida? Because it's been flooding down there for thousands of years.
Right.
That's what we need to do on Earth Day. People need to clean up their yards, that kind of stuff. Take a little pride where you live. Don't throw your hamburger wrappers out the window so my cows chew them up and I got to pull them out of their throat, you assholes. God, Mark. Oh, well, I'm sorry, but it just makes me mad. That's what Earth Day is. Well, the House passed a aid package on Friday as the liberal Democrats in the country continue to spread their Jewish hate and their anti-Semitic behavior, wishing death to all Jews and death to America now at our colleges and universities. Democrats, it's in their DNA. They've done this their whole life. And whether you like it or not, it's the truth. See, Columbia University, others, they're shutting down today because the students were protesting, carrying their signs, death to America. They want the Jews dead. Get us out of Israel. So they passed an aid package and they gave Ukraine $61 billion to fight Putin and Russia. Where in the hell's Europe? Where in the hell are they at? They're on the eastern front of Europe. How come we had to give $61 billion? $26 billion to Israel. They're fighting terrorism at least, which is good. If they're going to give anything to Ukraine, give them equipment, goods, and food, uniforms, ammunition, that kind of stuff. Don't send them cash. Haven't we learned our lesson? You know, I went to the Lincoln Reagan Day dinner on Friday. Saw a lot of good people down there. There's 8 candidates on the Republican ticket running for Congress in the Eastern District. And every single one of them said we shouldn't be giving unlimited money to the Ukraine.
Hear, hear.
It's being abused. It's being corrupted. And they were all in support, though, of supporting Israel. Folks, they're doing the dirty work for all of us. They're fighting terrorism. And we're going to have our own problems here because the borders are open. That was a big concern. And so now you have some of the real fiscally conservative people in the House. They're upset that they passed the bill, and they may make a motion today to vacate the Speaker's office again because we got no border security out of that security bill. None. Zero. Nothing. And they're mad about it. I came out with 3 favorites that I like after that dinner. I would have done things a little differently if I would have been there, but they decided not to have me do it, and I can understand it. They were given specific questions, and my answers would have been a little bit different too, but I'm not running, so it doesn't matter. But I don't think at that dinner, folks, I don't think the message was heard of what the message needed to be. They had a couple guest speakers there and kind of wishy-washy. If I would have been there and had a chance to talk to all those people, I would have had that place dead silent in about 60 seconds because I don't think they understand the gravity of the situation. And each and every one of them has to understand right now we are at war for America. And I would not reach across the aisle or work with one Democrat in Washington, D.C. They have ruined our country. We need to take it back or we're done as the America as we know it. This wasn't the message, and it needs to be. They have corrupted everything in our system in order to move their liberal agenda forward. They will compromise America's security. They will compromise America's budget. They have waged war on capitalism, Christianity, conservatism, the Constitution. They take no prisoners. They pander every group. Look what they've done to our border. Only for one reason, to infiltrate the conservative states in America and win those electoral college votes. They will go to all means necessary to win. And we do that. We're pansies. We need fighters, folks. We need people who are willing to go in and once again change the system. They have corrupted our educational system. They started that back in the 60s and 70s.
Mother's Day is coming up, so treat her to a delicious meal at the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. They also have a special pop-up market on Saturday, May 4th from 11 to 5 with perfect gifts for mom. Test your Taylor Swift knowledge at Trivia Night on Thursday, May 9th. It's 80s and 90s sitcom trivia. Monday, May 13th. And don't forget their amazing mouth-watering steaks. Now serving prime rib every Saturday. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley, just 9 minutes east of the Metra exit.
And look where we are. The lowest test scores in America. Indoctrinating new waves of voters. They've taken over our federal courts with liberal judges all across America. They've taken over our FBI. They've taken over our CIA. Our Attorney General's office from the top down is corrupt, infiltrated, and liberal judges in place everywhere to move their agenda forward. They use those agencies to stomp out any political opponent that gets in their path. You can see it. It's been done already. They've infiltrated all of the government bureaucracies with their leaders at the head of all departments. Pick one. Transportation, Department of Education, Department of Energy, our border control. Look at them. Pick one. The Environmental Protection Agency. They control all of it. And we got a bunch of people that want to work across the aisle and work with their counterparts to get things done. I don't want you.
No.
You're not getting my vote. You're not a fighter. You need to restore the rights of Americans. That's what your main goal should be. Less tyranny. Get them out of our kitchens. Get them out of our automobiles. Get them out of our bedrooms. Get them out of our homes. We got a war on our hands. Look at their anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish rhetoric that they're spreading through America. Our biggest ally is Israel. And the Democrats are taking the anti-Israel side, and they're doing the work, the dirty work of the world, trying to wipe out terrorist organizations. Look what they've done to our U.S. military. Look what they've done there. Look what they've done to women's sports. Look what they've done to your ability to teach your children about sex and gender. Look what they've done. Don't you realize the seriousness of this and the fight that we're in? This is what need to be said at that banquet.
Yeah, but it was all warm and fuzzy, wasn't it?
And nobody was like me there to say this, because sometimes people don't want to hear the truth. Oh, I heard a lot of things. Yeah, we need to close the border and we need to help agriculture, and it's not going to matter. What about the war on agriculture from those people? Carbon emissions. Farmers in Europe are driving their tractors to the capitals. They're putting them out of business. The climate agenda that's been put on America, making it more expensive. America has come to the point where we accept the government deciding how much money you make every day, and we'll take more. Nobody at that banquet mentioned one thing. You know, all you people that are here, you have to work until May the 20th just to pay your taxes. I didn't hear anything about fiscal responsibility. None of that. It all needed to be said, and people needed to hear it. Government is growing so fast we can't keep up. They hired 71,000 new government workers last month, 0 manufacturing jobs, and all the other jobs coming in retail and the restaurant industry, they're all being filled by illegal aliens. Yeah. That's job growth. That's what you want. Our culture has been threatened. Our language has been threatened. Our way of life has been threatened. And you folks want to get to Washington, work across the aisles to pass these bipartisan deals. Bipartisan my ass. That's what's ruined the country. Look at the last 40 years. Bipartisanship's the reason why we're 40th in the country in our schools. That's the kind of person I wanted to hear from. That's the message I wanted to hear, and I didn't hear it. And I just did it in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And if they would have given me 15, I'd have really had your thinking.
Paul, there's an outside chance that they knew what your message was going to be, and that's why you weren't
true.
invited. So.
That's true. That's true. You know, it's the same way with your kids, folks. You know what? It's called tough love. The truth hurts, and they need to hear it. I told you that story about John a few weeks ago. That's what this party needs to hear. People like John Tester and others, that phony, he voted. If there was ever a cause for an impeachment, it was Mayorkas. He violated the Constitution. He perjured Congress, lied in front of them over and over again. That's why impeachment was put in place. And John Tester, he goes up there, puts his lip on Schumer's ass, says, oh, we're not going to do that, and then bails right away, leaves Washington, gets out of there. And yet, he's got commercials. He's tough on the border. He supports walls and all that.
Oh, my God, his commercials are lies.
Oh, my God, folks. Where are our people? Get rid of the moderates. They ask some questions. What do you think the top 3 issues are for Eastern Montana? None of them covered any of this. That's the most important issue, not only for Eastern Montana, but for the whole nation. Get rid of these American changing liberals. They have corrupted our systems. They're changing us into a fascist, Marxist country with socialistic policies, and they have taken away our liberties and freedoms, and they do it every time they vote on something in Congress. You lose another one.
True.
Not agriculture, not things like that, because none of that matters if the important issues aren't taken care of. They control the media. They control the message. They control everything, folks. Damn it. We need to fight back. Get control again. You know, and part of the problem is everybody 35 years and younger, they don't know what America was like.
I agree.
At its peak. They don't know. They don't know. These kids, they don't know, folks. You used to be able to take your snowmobiles in Yellowstone Park and enjoy the park in the wintertime.
As many people as you could get.
They don't know that.
No.
They would have loved it, but they don't know that. They don't know any different. It's their plan is working. This plan just didn't start last year, by the way.
No, it's the indoctrination.
Yeah.
They've been working on it a long time, and they got numbers now, and it's working.
That's the message I needed to hear.
Well, Paul, I hate to keep harping on you, but that's why you should drink.
I know. You know, you're absolutely right.
Get yourself 3 or 4 cocktails. Excuse me. I have a couple of things.
I went up to the bar and I said, can I get a bottle of water? And the gal goes, well, I don't even know if we have any water because it was at the table. I said, never mind.
Water?
Yeah. Oh, well.
I know. Well, that's what we need. We need more people that are mad about how things are, and we don't have enough.
So we got a concert announcement today. We got that today on Earth Day. I'll be glad when I leave this planet, I think. I just want to set it up and try to make things as solid as I can for my family because they're the ones that are going to suffer.
Right.
And they don't know it. They don't teach them that.
No.
They don't know what's coming.
Well, and they don't know the America that we knew 40 years ago.
Exactly. They don't know what's coming. All right, Wilson, let's pay some bills and then we'll
I think I'm going to give you about 2 more minutes.
I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I'll start going into the people that litter again. You don't want that.
Okay. First news coming up, 6:14.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Events Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.